So once again, hey everyone, I'm really glad to meet you all today. We will have a wonderful topic today about all the Google and Yahoo changes about the email marketing, domain, mailbox health that will be affected this year. We have like plenty tight agenda, so we will try to cover as much as possible. And what we did so far. So we have delved into all the changes, and Abe and myself, I will introduce everyone in a second, will give you some insights about what kind of expect, how to like adapt during all those changes, and how to get maximum from those updates, which is driven by those big guys. Okay, so I think we can start, and I am putting the presentation. So, as I said, emailing best practices for this year, how to adapt Google and Yahoo security updates. My name is Vlad. I am a founder and CEO at Folgerly Email Deliverability Solution and Belkins, B2B lead generation agency, like ranked #1 in the US. Today, my amazing co-host, Abe Story, founder and CEO at Entri. Hey, Abe.
Hey, Vlad, thank you so much for the kind introduction. It's great to meet you all as well virtually. I love seeing so many people from around the world. My name is Abe. I'm the founder and CEO at Entri. Entri is the easiest way to set up DNS records. We work with a variety of software companies to make that DNS setup process effortless. We're going to talk more later in this presentation about why DNS is so important for these upcoming Yahoo, Google security updates.
100%. Glad to have you today. That's amazing. I think we will give the maximum insights for those like changes, and also for everyone who listening to us today, will have Q&A sessions. So gather all the questions. Will be like quite a lot of technical topics. If you want us to dive deep into those, just let us know in the Q&A section. So I think we can go and start with my favorite problem. There is around, like, imagine guys, 400 billion of emails sent on a daily basis, like across the world. That's the crazy number. If I like trying to imagine 400 billion of emails, I know that's the building of letters or something, like skyscraper of emails packed. And only 50% of those emails reach to your clients' inboxes, because other 200 billion of emails end up to spam folder, have problems with reaching to inbox, have a problem with domains, mailboxes, and they basically have poor results. And usually those people said that email marketing is dead, or they don't know how to adapt all those changes. Because there's quite a technical way to do email marketing nowadays without basic knowledge about what is like domain, how I need to authenticate my domain, how I need to track sender reputation with my mailbox, templates, list that I'm sending to your lead basically, and everything. And that's quite not email marketing as it sounds. So as we today gather all about the problem. So recently, like I think in November, everyone's starting to getting the news and a lot of like buzzing around that Google and Yahoo adopting all new changes about like sender compliance, about your sender reputation, your domain compliance, your mailbox compliance, your content compliance, or whatever. Because as I said, problem is quite big. 400 billion of emails sent, and 50% like facing the problem. So first up, what happens if you will not comply with all the changes? Starting from February, non-compliant senders will starting to receive a lot of error codes. I think it would be in a bounce style of message when you're sending email and you are getting the reply that this is email like never exists, or you're not compliant to send any emails, they will have some sort of form with Google and Microsoft, Yahoo, and others that your email is kind of rejected by the system, and you will have some more details inside the email, but it should starting from February. Message over the spam threshold will be rejected, and the feedback loop, the thing that when you are sending your emails, for example, if I will send my emails to Abe and he will put my email in spam, it would be counted as the user interaction. And over 0.3% of user interactions will suspend your domain and mailbox for further use, which is like quite high, because the nature, or for example, there is a lot of people today. And by the way, can you the listeners today, can you put plus in the chat if you are sending cold emails? I guess the all 150 people right now put the plus, because that's the best acquisition channel yet, and it's quite cheap. So everyone using everyone basically sending emails. Yeah, a lot of pluses. Yeah, so April enforcements will start to be alive with all those changes, and basically a lot of people will facing the problem or starting to Google for the problem, what kind of happening with my mailbox and domains, etc. And Google and Yahoo put the deadline, basically end of the Q2 this year, the deadline for implementing one-click unsubscribe. And I know for the fact that a lot of people today that listening to me, know that the results that you're getting from email marketing is basically based on personalization. And if if your clients, like recipients, subscribers, whatever, they will get emails with the unsubscribe link, they will understand that you're sending emails with automated tool, and you will have less engagement. But that's the rules of the game right now. Yeah, so what's going to happen? As I said, many users that aren't familiar with setting DNS records, and DNS records is the things that help you to identify that you're legit to send emails with your domain and mailboxes. From your domain, if you will not have those kind of basic setup, all emails that you are sending will be rejected. And I'm referring to SPF, DMARC, and DKIM, and I guess Abe will share more in a second. Email marketing platforms like Outreach, SalesLoft, SendGrid, and a lot of others will starting to receive a lot of support tickets, how I can get the results, why my account's suspended or something. And now email tools already rallying they are not compliant users to get aboard, because if you will not be compliant, you will have a lot of problems with that, whatever tool you're using. And speaking about what you need to do, and I think Abe can shed more light on the DNS with Entri, because they did a great job with helping you guys without no effort, without extra hustle, work with any DNS record, any tool that you are using.
Absolutely. Let me just first say, I hate DNS. I don't think anyone likes dealing with DNS. And that is why I founded Entri. That is why our product exists. And so if you're looking at all this and you're thinking, I just heard Vlad say DMARC, DKIM, DNS, all these acronyms, and I don't even know what those mean. Don't panic. It is okay. You are not alone. That is most email marketers today. And as Vlad said, the good news is Entri makes that really, really simple. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Before I get to that, I want to take a step back and just zoom out for a moment and think, okay, Google, Yahoo, these email clients are making these changes, as Vlad said on the prior slide. Why is that? Are they just trying to make everyone's life miserable? No, that's not the case. Sometimes it feels that way, but that is very much not the case. What they care about is very different, right, than what you care about. What Google and Yahoo care about is the experience, right, for their end users in the inbox. And so I think it's important to keep that in mind when you're doing cold outreach. Are you adding to the user experience for that user inside of Gmail or inside of Yahoo? And if the answer is no, it doesn't matter how compliant you are with all of this, you're probably not going to have great results. And the reason why Google and Yahoo and others are setting this up is to try to make sure the experience for their users is good. So I want to just kind of set that context before we dive in to some of these DNS records and what Entri does and what you need to do to be compliant. So as Vlad mentioned, tools like Outreach, SalesLoft, Mixmax, et cetera, if you go into them right now, they will probably ask you to set up 3 records: a DMARC, an SPF, and a DKIM. If one of those platforms is using Entri, you don't have to do it manually. All you have to do is enter your domain, click connect, and Entri adds that automatically. So if you are using a platform like that today that doesn't use Entri, please reach out, send them entri.com, say, hey, why are you making my life more difficult than it needs to be? Work with Entri, make it one click. I'll pause there. I want to hand it back to you, Vlad, if there's anything you want to cover on the kind of email tool side. And then if not, I can speak in more depth on what some of these DNS records do and why they matter.
Sure. Love the thing that you said about the DNS. I personally hate this. Always when I'm starting to explain what's kind of SPF, Standard Policy Framework, DMARC, domain notification messaging, etc., I want to shut my legs off, because that's really the things that as a marketer I don't want to like understand how it works, because it's more referring to cybersecurity, etc. But taking the fact that amount of people sending emails, and I think the people who created the email marketing was the SMTP and AMAP protocol that stands for receiving and sending emails, never thought that people will have sending 400 billion of emails. Because even though some of the emails during the, I don't know, Super Bowl or whatever event, they delayed. So there's so many emails coming in the system, in the Gmail, worldwide web, that your emails basically delayed for 72 hours or something. That's the thing that we faced with some of our US based clients. And that's ridiculous. When you're sending email, you have sequences, great email campaigns, and they kind of delayed because of the overload on the system. And that's really ridiculous. And to add here, with the Folgerly, we created a set of solutions that help you to be compliant, to understand if you have a problem with any DNS records, referring to Entri, to set up them in one single click. Also with the Folgerly, you will get an idea what kind of other problems you have, what kind of spam triggers, email deliverability triggers you have with any of your mailboxes, any of your domains, any of your content, and the Folgerly one-stop shop for that. So I think we can go forward. Abe, what do you think? Cool. So people now, when those kind of changes will starting to be in game, everyone's starting to invest more time to understand the technical infrastructure, all those hard technical stuff. And for email marketers, SDRs, BDRs, it will be mandatory to know how the DNS works. Otherwise, except of emails, what we will have left? We will have really high expensive advertising, like Google, Facebook ads with super competition, really high competitive, almost in each and every niche. We'll have cold calls, inbound, and content in SEO. But to me, everyone here understand that if you wanted to build a great sustainable acquisition, sales, marketing, or company in general, all of those channels should work for you. Like you need to send emails, get results from it. You probably have a great play with the content and SEO, and you starting to scale the things up, and you grow as a company as expert in the niche. And on the Folgely side, with our clients, we always, like most of the time, I would say, face that problem of complexity of email deliverability. And there is all like a lot of misinterpretation with email warm-up solutions. So here's the thing, email warm-up solutions help you to ramp up your volumes for your domains and mailboxes rather than identify and solve any problem that you have. And with Folgely, we actually solve the problem, identify those problems, and build a monitoring around your infrastructure with all of your mailboxes and domains and content that you're using to give you like idea what kind of happening. So there's definitely a key point here that you need to invest in your knowledge, how to like be on the top of the game, understanding how those kind of things works, and understand what you need to do to be compliant in order to send emails in this kind of particular changes. And a number of a billion of emails like still growing and will grow by the end of the days, I think, because email still works. A lot of people using emails, and there's the thing about the emails. So another quiet update that you need to pay attention to from Google side, additional one, that they starting to suspend inactive accounts and the inactive mailboxes, which is mean that mailboxes with no activity within 2 years period will be deleted. And if you not like taking attention to your database list hygiene that you have, basically you will face a lot of problems that you are sending emails to mailboxes that never exist anymore, and your domain health and like send reputation, mailbox health will fluctuate a lot from this, and you just don't want that. So strongly recommend, if you still not are using any debounce tools or tools that help you to like understand like rather those kind of users are active or not, or what their ESP are using. One, like for example, at Folgely and Balkans, we know that our subscribers using the Google or Microsoft or Yahoo, and this is the cool thing about understanding who your target audience, because you know what to send them, how to send them, and you are compliant with all of those changes. I think Abe and I, we will share, if we will have a lot of engagement during today's webinar, we will share after the webinar post email with all interesting tools that will help you to be on top of the game in terms of list hygiene, email deliverability, DNS setting, infrastructure setup. So if you want that, put plus in the chat meanwhile. So we need a lot of engagement to like 100% know that this information that your guys looking for, not just the words that we're saying today, but really tips and trips that you can implement after the webinar. Another like really interesting thing on top of the changes with compliance of your infrastructure, which is like really finally cool. So Google update their AI spam words, spam filter, which is mean that they starting to understand intent of the emails that you are sending. So basically they understand if there is sales emails or marketing emails or those kind of call to actions is quite tricky. And you definitely need to pay more attention to the content, because with all those AI buzzwording, with the ChatGPT and other tools in the space, a lot of people using the a lot of like content that AI generated right now, and Google wanted to prevent that. And also this will affect the SEO and content on the rankings, the keywords, etc. So you definitely wanted to be expert in the topic, expert in your company, and sending your email as an expert. Any like generic type of emails will be counted as a spam, and eventually your send reputation will fluctuate. This is the cool way that Google, and I suppose other folks like Microsoft, Yahoo, and Apple, and other major email service providers will implement stricter, like they will tighten their rules for email content, because there's the thing that a lot of people manipulate with the words, and also a lot of people scamming other people. There's a lot of fraud with the emails, so they wanted to prevent that. So just another heads up that you need to invest a lot of time to your content. From my experience, if you have really great email templates, content in your website, you are getting real result. And I think the content started to be like 30% of the success of the email campaigns and the entire compliance now. Yeah, so as I said, take attention to your content. Make sure that you are always changing the email templates. Or for example, we have our tips and tricks for content sending. You need to change your content in your emails once per like 2-3 weeks, or at least one per month, and you will maximize your results with your email marketing campaigns. Do not rely on the one email that works for years. It will not happen anymore, because you need to be like creative. You need to stay personalized, and that's the thing. And you can like go ahead right now, and on the screen you see QR code. There is like Julie no cost spam word checker. You can like check your templates right now to all those spam words, promotion words that will be counted as a spam and will harm your sender reputation. It's completely free on our landing page, folderly.com, so you can go and check all of your templates. And yeah, you wanted to make sure that your emails works. I'm stepping down to the technical part, like DNS and infrastructure, and wanted to give mic to Abe. He will cover this really good.
Thank you, Vlad. Before I dive into this, I'd love to ask the audience, if you feel like you have a lot of trouble setting up DNS, specifically for these upcoming changes, put the plus symbol in the chat. If you feel like you are an expert, that's awesome. Put the exclamation mark in. Would love to just see who feels like they've got this down, who feels like they're having some trouble.
Yeah, we have a lot.
We've got a nice mix. I think, look, as Vlad said, over time, more people are going to become experts on this, because it's so vital, starting in a week. If you don't set up your DNS correctly for compliance, you almost are guaranteeing that your emails go to spam. And so there are 3 kind of key DNS records you need to set up: SPF, DMARC, and DKIM. And then that 4th one is kind of like an extra level of security, that BIMI and VMC. If you can do that last one, it helps a lot, but it's vital that you do SPF, DMARC, and DKIM. These are all TXT records, meaning they are these text snippets that are applied to your domain. All of this stuff is done at the domain level. I think there was a question earlier that was, hey, is this compliance at the email sender level or the domain level? It's all the domain level, meaning if you're not compliant, it doesn't matter if it's Vlad at folderly.com or Abe at folderly.com, your emails are going to land in spam. So overall, setting up these records is a huge pain. And with Entri, all you have to do is enter your domain, log in with your DNS provider. We support over 40 DNS providers, ranging from GoDaddy to Cloudflare to Namecheap. We cover over 75% of the web. You log in, and all of those records are added correctly. You don't have to worry about the syntax. You don't have to worry about a typo. And a lot of different companies, not just email tools, companies like Webflow, companies like ClickFunnels use Entri to make it easy for their users. So if you are using a tool such as SalesLoft or Mixmax that doesn't use Entri, please, please, please reach out to them. Say, why are you making my life more difficult than it needs to be? Add Entri, make my life easier. You also can fill out this form, which is on this QR code. Feel free to take out your phone, scan it, and tell us, like, what tool are you using? And we will prioritize adding Entri to that tool. So I'm actually going to give everyone a moment. I'm going to pause. Everyone take out your phone and scan that QR code. Clavio,
Doing this in a moment.
Diego, I love that you mentioned Clavio. That is someone we've been chatting with to add Entri to as well. All these platforms, I think, need to make it easy for their user. It is not fair, right? It is not fair to expect you to be an expert in DKIM and DMARC and SPF. I was joking with Vlad about this. I was like, how much detail do you want me to go into on this webinar, right? Like, we could spend hours talking about the nuance of all this stuff. And the reality
100%.
is, as long as it works, that's what people care about. And that's what Entri makes really, really simple. So take a moment, scan that QR code, fill out which platform you want Entri on, and we will make that a priority. If you use Webflow, if you use ClickFunnels, if you use Square, these companies already use Entri. And we're focused on applying Entri to email right now because of these changes. So fill out that QR code, fill out the form, or reach out to Entri, support@entri.com, with any feedback you have, or companies that you want us to be integrated with. Additionally, securing your email domain. This is a pretty easy thing to do that makes a huge impact. Make sure your domain has HTTPS. If you don't know how to set that up, don't panic. You can use Cloudflare for it. You can buy an SSL. A lot of ways to do it, but it will make a very big impact on your sending score. And then similarly, for your one-click unsubscribe, a lot of platforms like CRMs like HubSpot or sales tools like SalesLoft, they will make it easy to have one-click unsubscribe. That's great. However, there's a catch. They use their domain for the unsubscribe link, right? It's unsubscribe.reply.io/something. And Google knows, right? Google knows. They can see that domain. They can see that reply.io domain. And so I would highly encourage you to also use a custom domain for unsubscribe links as well. Vlad, do you want to speak a little bit on the list hygiene as well? Like what you can do using Folderly and other tools to check the strength of your list?
Sure, yeah. Like 100%, I totally agree with you about the technical setup. It's like crucial, and a lot of folks like Klaviyo always, like our clients at Folderly were using Klaviyo, facing a lot of problems with a particular integration because there's like a lot of things that you need to implement before going with Folderly. So like DNS starting to be pain in the ass. And also, I don't know if chat knows, there is another DNS record that no one talking about called ARC, like ARC, meaning that if you are forwarding your emails back and forth across your mailboxes, they are also should be compliant. And ARC, it basically stands for like forwarding messaging authentication. I actually discovered this like few months ago, since I'm starting to building some basic integrate like automation when you have like 50 mailboxes and you wanted to, from those 50 mailboxes, getting answers to one, like not managing 50, but managing the one. And those kind of forwarding messages should be also compliant. So this is one of the things that if your setup includes the forwarding in some way, you need to take a look to ARC record, putting the in the chat abbreviation. Yeah, and like list hygiene, as I speak before, you need to like if you are like, and I guess everyone have this like CRM system, your like spreadsheets, list of leads, you just wanted to be sure that everything is fine with your base, that they receive your emails from you, and you need to be sure that those kind of emails exist, so they are fresh, they are subscribed to you, and you just need to take your attention to this like once per quarter at least, so you will be on the top of the game. And in terms of the setup, one click unsubscribe link. So like honestly speaking, and from can spam perspective, you need to have like unsubscribe link, because everything that you are sending counted the spam because it's unsolicited email, right? But I know like a lot of examples that people sending emails without this link because the hyper personalization, they wanted to sound like they sending emails just like I know from the iPhone or from your laptop without any automation. And basically like putting the quotes that it's not an advice, but everyone's still doing this, and they maximizing the result with it. And by the end of the June, like this year, the Google starting to track all those links that you have. And also a good quick tip here, your unsubscribe link that you will put in your email should refer to your domain. What does it mean? So if you're using, let's say, a SalesLoft, and they putting their unsubscribe link to SalesLoft something slash and some sort of code that meaning your campaign. So you wanted this to sound like if, for example, I would send emails from Folgerly domain, folgerly.com. So if people clicking on my unsubscribe link, the link should lead them to folderly.com/unsubscribe. So basically, I'm referring to only my domain. So there's the thing about the reputation. So you don't want to like put the links to different domains except of yours, because you are sending emails from your domain, because that will count as a spam, or you understand the idea. So basically will harm the reputation of your emails because you're referring to a suspicious website that probably not authenticated or something. So that's the good thing to take care of. So basically, as we like Abe and I speak, so what you can do now, so you can automate your DNS setup. So if you like know nothing about DNS, or have a lot of pain with the DNS records, you can scan this QR code and go to Entri, and you basically can set up the DNS record with a team. You need to start emailing your users about this now. So if you wanted to make sure that you are like on top of the game, you need to make aware about those changes to your users, like Outreach did, and this kind of screenshot that they post on the LinkedIn of their product owner or CEO about the compliance, that Outreach starting to be compliant for this kind of Yahoo and Google processes. So it's the good like things to create awareness about this. Include in-app messages about update for users who don't read any emails, because there is a lot of people who are using messengers, intercom, and etc. So basically, you wanted to create as more awareness as possible. Prepare your support teams for what's coming with plenty of documentation and Entri API links. I think you can add here.
Yeah, I mean, for more context on this overall, I know we have a variety of different people on this call. Some of you might be email marketers, some may be product owners, right? Someone maybe works for a tool like Folderly or something like Aweber, and that's really what this slide is focused on. Entri has a tool called Entri API links as well, where you can generate a link for the Entri setup and just throw that directly on your support docs. So you don't even have to spend time integrating Entri. So again, overall, like we want to make it as easy as possible, not just for end users and email marketers to set up DNS, but also for the product owners to make it easy for their end users.
100%. And one more thing, as I recall about the be knowledgeable about all the changes. So I strongly suggest you to subscribe to our blog Folgerly, because we are without any water, without bullshit. I can say that we're putting all the things with tips and tricks, case studies, and how to avoid the changes, how to be on top of the game. So we are really paying attention to all the content that we're creating, trying to make it not SEO with keywords nurtured, but with all the tips and tricks that were really helpful. Because there's the thing, email deliverability, domain and mailbox infrastructure is quite hard even to pronounce, but you just need to know a lot of things about what kind of happening around you. Because all the people who will take those changes seriously will be on top of the game and will maximize their result. So just go ahead, scan the QR codes for both for your website and for our blog. And one more thing about Folgerly. So with the Folgerly, we build email solution platform, which will help you to manage your email infrastructure, meaning that you will find identification of any problems that you have under your domain with Folgerly Inbox Insights. It will help you to analyze your domain on any pitfalls, blacklist, or whatever, mailbox content and leads to identify the problems. Folgerly Core will help you to fix this within the system. And Folgerly Pulse will help you to monitor those 24/7. So just if you're interested, go ahead and scan the QR code. So we have really a lot of questions, and we have a lot of questions in the chat. We have a lot of questions in Q&A section. So I think we will start with our Q&A session. Let me shut down the presentation, and we will start with the questions from the chat. So first of all, thank you guys. There's a lot of questions, a lot of engagements, love it. And that's really cool that you all wanted to be aware about the what kind of happening around you, about the compliance itself. I really hate the compliance, because a lot of things that really bounded to compliance. Even if there is a product owners here to be compliant with the SOC and ISO, sometimes be pain in the ass. Okay, so first question, are you sure that penalties are getting applied in the domain level and not on the mailbox level? Good question, by the way. So from my experience working with 4 entities, your IP address, your domain, your mailbox, and your content, and basically all of those 4 entities can be blacklisted or be in spam. For example, I will start with the last. If you are have problem with your content, basically all emails that you are sending with this formulation or with those templates will end up in spam, or maybe there is a lot of links, or maybe there is a really heavy email that you are sending, and you can easily blacklist your templates. And I know the friend of mine who said me that he have really working template that works for him for 2 years, and he getting a lot of clients with it. And eventually this email starting not working at all, because it just blacklisted, and you just need to change the content. So this is the things how content can be blacklisted. And if you will change the content, any mailbox that's sending email will get the result. If your mailbox end up in spam, whenever you send from this mailbox will end up in spam. So basically, no matter what you do on this kind of level, anything that you are sending will end up in spam, and more or less it will be suspended by the system that you're using, like by Google or Microsoft. It can be suspended, and you need to go to admin panel and enable it. If your domain blacklisted or have problems with email deliverability or reputation, all mailboxes under this domain, all the content that you are sending can be in spam. If in the mailbox case, it can be one mailbox. For example, if we will have 2 mailboxes, mine and Ape, and myself going to spam, his email can be 100% okay and with a high email deliverability. But if our domain in spam, we both will end up with the spam. And also another problem with the IP address, the high level. If you're with the IP address, no matter how many domains connected to this IP address, no matter how many mailboxes connected to this IP address, everything will end in spam. So basically you can imagine this kind of structure of infrastructure. Sorry for tautology. Next question. Would make sense to block it on the mailbox level? Would solve anything if you just make a new mailboxes in the same domain and send the same junk? Defeats the purpose of eliminating the security entirely. Yeah, like you can do that, but as I described, you have multiple entities and multiple levels of your reputation. You can like mess with each and every of them. And as a result, no matter what you do, no matter how many emails you send, end up in spam. How would one click on subscriptions impact subscription preference centers? Interesting question from Katrin. So I think it's would be the common like rule of thumb that you have unsubscribe link, because otherwise your emails probably will facing the fluctuation of your email deliverability. So it just would be the like, you know, least hygiene. If you know that we have subject line, we have email body, we have like call to action as a good email have, we'll probably have unsubscribe link or something. Going next. Incredibly easy for user to send out through the subdomains and sending domains. What is to stop spammers from just doing that, to creating sub domains and secondary domains? I think Abe, you can tell more about the DMARC, because if you are enabling the DMARC, no one can like mimic the subdomains and the secondary domains, because if the primary domain set you have certain rules, all the subdomains will reject emails. So basically, if you will have fake subdomains, they will reject those emails that they send will be rejected. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, you are right that in theory you could set up multiple compliant, right, like subdomains. Now I think that's why it's important to say the DNS compliance is a very important step. It's not the only thing. It's kind of like table stakes. It's like you even need to have that set up to get in the building. But that doesn't mean if you're sending 20,000 emails a day with an open rate of 0.5% that you're not going to get flagged, right? It's not like a get out of jail free card. So you're right. Like you can get creative and try to have multiple subdomains that are DNS compliant. But that doesn't change the reality, right? That you need to have a 0.3% or less unsubscribe rate. You need good engagement. So it doesn't end there. There was also, I think, a great question about, pull this up. It was about, forgive me, I'm trying to hunt this down.
I think the next is, can DMARC be read-only and still be compliant, as the question?
When you say read-only, do you mean like the quarantine policy?
Yeah, basically there's three of them, the quarantine, reject, and the read-only.
Yeah, you can be compliant, yes, technically, with a read-only setting. Strongly advised against that for a variety of reasons. There was also a question about if this impacts you if you send less than like 5,000 to Gmail or to Yahoo. For Gmail, technically, they're only enforcing this to start for people that are sending to 5,000 Gmails. That might change, right? They could change that at any time. Yahoo, they're applying it to everyone. So most likely you are sending emails to Gmail and Yahoo, so you may as well become compliant, because even if you're not above that Gmail threshold, your Yahoo emails are going to go to spam.
Cool. Yeah, I think we can move next to VMC certificate. There is also a lot of questions about the BIMI. I will try to cover it in one answer. So From my experience already, we saw the performance from both type of the domains that compliant for BIMI was right BMC watermark certificate from only 2 companies that providing them, DigiCert, and I forgot the another one. And if you are sending emails without the BIMI, so basically Google understand that, and I guess you already saw that in your mailbox when you are getting emails from those guys who compliant with the BIMI and have the certificate, they have this verified label, blue label, that they have this record, they like legit, and even just from branding standpoint and people like reacting on this, they actually more likely to answer your email. So basically you are getting more results. And also if you have BIMI and the certificate, in order to have BIMI, you need to have the certificate. You will be less likely marked as a spammer, or your domain can be blacklisted or so. So this kind of sort of resistance that you're developing with your BIMI record. Next, you can add something. Yeah, Abe.
I was just say,
Okay,
I'd love
go
to
ahead.
ask while we're talking about BIMI and VMC, which stands for Verified Mark Certificates. I'd love to hear from the audience. Quick maybe plus symbol if you have successfully set up a VMC ever, and then if you haven't, what stopped you? Why didn't you do it?
Actually, this is a good question. And while people like putting their answer in the chat, I can share my experience. So with the Balkans, we already finalized all the processes. We obtained the certificate. We do have trademark. There is the crucial thing that you need to have trademark registered. And otherwise, they cannot get the ball rolling with the certificate, and you cannot be compliant. And sometimes for certain countries, the trademark process takes like 2 years, like for some reason. And you need to wait 2 years, which is like ridiculously a lot of time. Okay. While people answering, how much will all the effects in the cold email sending infrastructure budget? So I think it's starting to affect people starting to basically first involve be involved in more learning, like learning creation, the webinars, podcast, and you're already spending your time and increasing the budget of the acquisition because you are spending time to understand what the hell is happening, and you have like additional tools that probably will help you with this. So yeah, it's starting to be starting increasing. So what if the links I have put is from HubSpot? It's the same thing. So you basically referring from HubSpot, but you can do the following thing. You can create your website link. So you can ask your developers about this. That will redirect to HubSpot. So basically it would be like, as I described, folderly unsubscribe. When they hit the unsubscribe, you will track down subscribe, and after that, in 1 second, user will be forwarded to HubSpot to be unsubscribed from the list. Elaborate on the ARC record, please. Really good question. So ARC stands for Authenticated Received Chain, and it basically giving the verification of all those forwarding emails. And I think I will send we'll send the email with all those like useful materials and with the checklist for each and every DNS record and links. So we'll cover this in the email. So basically with ARC, if you have system that containing a lot of forwarding emails process, you need to have ARC record. Which will authenticate forwarding emails. So why this records exist? So a lot of people taking advantage of forwarding your email to someone, and this person like technically can imitate your email that they forwarded from the first source, and which is quite creepy. But there's some ways to do that. But you need to be DNS compliant in order to avoid that. Okay, moving next. We will have recording, like we will have the follow-up with the recording, so don't worry about this. While I'm sure about the best practice, will this affect list under 5,000? Yeah, there is also like people starting to be like in 2 categories, who sending less than 5,000 emails and who sending more than 5,000. But nevertheless, you'll be affected by any changes that will be there, because there is a lot of spammers that taking advantage of those systems. Moving next. How do we configure one-click unsubscription for Gmail? They came up with the solution. 100%. Moving next, does this apply to emails going to business accounts? So we have like few more minutes to answer the questions. If we have like like a lot of questions left. For those questions that we probably will have no time to cover, we will answer over the email. So like shoot us with all the questions and we will answer it. What is okay, there was a lot of discussions and the negotiation in the chat. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, okay. So now it was the chat part. Now we're going to Q&A, actual Q&A Q&A section. So is this a preference center considered a one-click unsubscribe? I think we answered that. You basically need to follow the rules that you're putting the right link, put the right tool, and follow the one-click unsubscribe. So I think it's in some way it will work something like Google authentication with the one-click integration or something. It will be for unsubscribe. How do you avoid being flagged as a spam from Gmail RETVec, the AI advanced filtration? Pretty simple. We always rotating our content, all words we have, and we like have department like 20. So basically creating the templates, reshaping the like email content, etc. So basically you just need to avoid and change often your content. What is the tracking links and unsubscribed links? Okay. If you're using the unsubscribed links from HubSpot, we already answer it. So basically cover up with your domain. And also another cool chicken trip that we are discovered that if you are basically tracking your open rates, you getting less engagement, like less replies, less click rates, because all the tracking, by meaning you're putting pixel as a technology to track your email. So basically when user open your email, they are loading the pixel and you getting like notification that your like person that you send email to reading your email. So if you are putting less pixels, you are getting better results, because pixel by meaning it's like link that infiltrated. So basically, there's the link that directed to some sort of script. So this is also a cool thing that we are developing right now with our internal teams. We are developing a tool that will be bounded to engagement, not by open rates, but by the replies and clicks. So I think it will make it different. Is one-click unsubscribe a requirement for transactional emails as well? Yes, 100%. But you have like 6 months to get like your email sent without it. What works if I consider it as a spam is there is unified place to find them. So basically, since there is like billions, hundreds of billions emails sending on a daily basis, there's a lot of words that can count it as a spam. So you just need to track the performance of your content and change it. So we share the QR code on the default spam word checker, and we have AI that help you to identify, or rather that this word as being flagged by spam across the all users we have in the systems. Is there any information what will happen to emails that do not have DKIM, DMARC in place? Will they bounce back or go to spam? What do you think, Abe?
Yeah, so it will not bounce back. Like you will not receive some email back saying this didn't go through. That's by design, right? Like they don't want to tell you that you're doing something wrong. You can sign up for there are some tools online that like send you some analysis on your outbound and inbound settings and like the spam rate of those I'm happy to like follow up after the webinar linking to some of them. One of them that I really like is called SendMark. It's an Entri customer, so it's really easy to get up and running. Folderly, I think, has some wonderful tools as well built in around this that are free to use. So there are definitely tools to try to monitor this, but the email client is not going to respond back saying, "Hey, this wasn't compliant. Try again." It's just kind of going to go into the ether. And yeah, does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. And great question from Diego. Also, guys, you are amazing. There is still almost 100 people online. That's really cool. I like appreciate you all. So BMI record. So Diego asked how impactful will be using BMB, and will BMB be needed for cold emails or only marketing emails? So for both. So basically, you can like imagine your DNS record as your passport with Visa. So as long as like as many visas you have, as many pass-through you have. So basically, you can have a lot of the compliance and go over the your recipients, and you will be less likely land in spam or have any problems with your domains, which is really cool if you are putting all the compliance in the game. Okay, we had this question already. Okay, is it okay to use tracking and unsubscribe links from HubSpot or not? So, like as I said, if you're using less tracking, you're getting more responses. That the result that we seeing in practice. And unsubscribe link for HubSpot, okay, if you're sending email from HubSpot, but you should cover it with your domain. You need to refer only to your domain address. Does the length of the link in the letter affect probability of getting into spam? Yes, that's a really good question. So I think a lot of cases in my experience when people putting like really long like links, like with the tracking UTM tags without shortening it. And this is the reason why their template, like wall template in spam, like going to spam or promotional folder. So 100%, it's about the weight of your email. You need to keep it like really easy to open. We have few questions left. Can it be just a link on your domain that redirects to unsubscribe from your tool? Or you should develop some sort of page that will capture data and transfer? No, it can be the link that will forward to the website, to the HubSpot or whatever.
Yeah, a redirect is totally fine.
Yeah. And question is, how would I refer to my domain only for unsubscribe link? So basically, that's the thing that you needed to develop, is basically how you track that people like went to your through your email to your website, and basically creating the tracking for that. Okay, and I think we covering the last question, guys, here, and wrapping it up. So I have BMC and BME and Folgerly as well, and still my email is going to some. Oh, good question for me. The last question. Cool. Thank you for it. So basically, the working with your sending reputation is takes some time. So basically, you cannot expect that if you are like putting a lot of the like certification, compliance, and delay notice. And like yesterday, you're sending 1 million of emails to London spam, and today you're compliant and using all the tools to fix this. It's not how it works. You basically need to build your reputation from negative balance in order to get it back to the inboxes. So basically, you need to play around for like on average at least like month or 3 months as ongoing building reputation in order to be in place with it. What's the best length for cold emails? Basically, we're using, it will be the last question, guys, so sorry about this, and we will answer the last one over the email. So the best length is the like basically we're sending text emails for cold, and it basically like, I don't know, few sentences only. but you can do longer emails in the follow-ups if the guy from other domain responded to you. So basically that's it. Okay, so it's time to wrap up. Thank you everyone for such a great audience. We for 1 hour we had 150 people almost till the end. Highly appreciate you guys and hope everything were like informative for you and practical. And Abe and I, we will follow up with additional information and thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Abe, for being great co-host as well.
Thank you, Vlad. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great evening, morning, any daytime you have. So take care, guys. Thank you.